You may be like me and pulling out every cute piece of cotton lycra or knit fabric that you can find because you have been bitten by the twisted ear warmer headband craze. I owe this particular addiction to Megan Nixon, and I wanted to say thank you, Megan, for getting me hooked on these. I am coming to you with a different way of doing this that makes it a little bit easier to sew, in my opinion. Now, you don't have to use backstitch fabric. You can use any kind of stretch knit. This happens to be from Hobby Lobby. To simply add a tab to the end of the Sherpa, which means that you're sewing through thinner fabrics for the final step rather than really thick cotton lycra and very, very thick Sherpa. This one was easier to sew because this knit fabric is just a lot thinner than this cotton lycra. This is a premium fabric here, which is why it's just a little bit more difficult to work with. So if you hold on just a second, I will show you exactly how I made these adorable little headbands that I plan on gifting to so many of my friends and family. You will see that I made a few mistakes as I went along, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's fine. This is a forgiving project. It's great for beginners and it's great for kids. I know my friend Nikki's daughter Emma has learned how to make them, and they're going to be offering them for sale. They've already made a ton of cute ones. Let's see, is there anything else I need to tell you? Oh, nope, you'll just need standard sewing machine or sewing materials. So scissors, rotary blade, ruler, cutting mat, thread, that kind of deal. And you can do this all on a domestic machine, or you can use a serger. You will want to use a domestic sewing machine or a straight stitch sewing machine for the very last step. Do not send this through your serger. Okay, for this project, for the adult headband size, you need 22 inches by 4.5 inches of a contrasting stretch fabric. This is cotton lycra, and it has a lot of stretch. Whatever material you use, you want to make sure that the greatest degree of stretch is going long ways like this, because this is going to get wrapped around your head. You also, in the contrasting fabric, need 2 tabs that are 4.5 inches tall by 1.5 inches wide. And then you need a piece of Sherpa or super polar fleece or something that you want as the fuzzy, cozy side of your headband. This is going to be 20 inches by 4.5 inches. Now, Sherpa is the textile equivalent of glitter, so prepare yourself for that fun experience as you cut and sew. And it also may only be stretchy in one direction. So this way, it's not stretchy at all. But this way, it's very stretchy. So make sure that when you're cutting it so that it stretches long ways. So you can make like a long, long noodle out of it if it were pasta. Okay, let's go ahead and sew these together. All right, I am not going to pin these because it's, for me, it just doesn't make any sense to do it. I don't need to pin it. If you're not there yet, feel free to pin. But I am not going to be pinning it because I'm going to try to film this tutorial super quick. So what's going to happen is that on each end of your Sherpa glitter bomb, you are going to put your little tab of your contrast fabric face down against the nice side of the Sherpa. The back side of the Sherpa looks like this. So you want pretty sides together. And then lined up along the edge, we're going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance and sew here and here. This is what we have now after we've sewn the 2 tabs on the end. We have 2 pieces that match up and are the same length, and that's exactly what we want. Now we're going to lay these 2 together, pretty sides touching, aka right sides together, but I'm going to turn this around so that my faces line up. I don't think it matters, but it's not going to hurt anything, I don't think, by having a match up. Okay. Now, if you want to clip this, and actually, you know, because I'm going to use my sewing machine, I think I will clip it. With my serger, it handles stretch knits so much better than a sewing machine does. And so because of that, I think I will add some clips to this. Okay, so we're going to sew, let me make sure that I'm in frame here. We're going to sew down this end and this end using roughly a 1/4 inch seam allowance, but it doesn't really matter. Do not sew the two short ends. All right, I totally cheated, confession. I sewed this side and then I serged this side. Why? Because I have a serger, and why not use it? So this side is what it looks like with the sewing machine, and I should have lengthened my stitch. This was silly of me. I was racing to get it done, and so I should have made my stitches longer. So I would say probably 3 inch, 2.5, 3 inch. And then this here is my serged edge. See how pretty it is? It's so nice. I love it. Now, I would also say that when you're sewing with a sewing machine, sew with the Sherpa side up, because I had it down and look, I missed it. It's hard because it grows and it moves and stuff, but again, I promise, and like a little tiny flub like this does not matter. All right, so we have this sewn together. The ends are open. We're going to reach in and we're going to turn it right side out. Hello, fingers? Oh, I cut a hole in there. Okay, you guys ignore that. Pretend that that's not there. Good grief. This is now going to be a child size. Okay. I feel like Julia Child when I'm doing these half the time. You guys are lucky there's not like a chicken falling on the floor. All right, here we go. Here's our cute headband. I don't see that cut. Do you guys see that cut? Looks good. Let's just pretend we don't know it's there, okay? All right, so now we need to do the fancy schmancy twisting trick, which makes it super cute. The reason why we added these tabs is so that when we do the super fancy schmancy trick, we're sewing through layers of cotton lycra rather than big bulky layers of the Sherpa. So here we go. With the Sherpa facing out, we're going to roughly find the center of this underpiece with the top of here. We're going to fold this to make a backwards C. Okay? Like this. This one, we're now going to fold this way to make a forward C. And now I'm going to do my best to get as close as possible to here, and just sewing about roughly here. Again, this is all just about, it doesn't matter. I am going to lengthen my stitch, and I'm going to keep it on that same stretch stitch setting so that it can flex a little bit as it goes around our head. So give me just a second. I'm going to sew just straight across here, nothing fancy. I ended up switching to my zipper foot so that I could get as close as possible to the bulkiness here and still have my stitching be successful. And I did go back and make 2 rows just because it's a bit wonky when you get around here. So don't be afraid to do that. After I was done straight stitching, I went ahead and used pinking shears to clip the ends. And then now we're ready for the big reveal. So you simply turn it like this and adjust it. Push that knot here into the center to your liking. And there you go. It's as easy as that. So let me show you what the inside looks like. Now, if you want, you can wear this to the front and then put the twist behind your head at the, like at the back of your neck. And this is what it looks like on the inside. I'll be making a ton more, and I hope that with this technique, adding those tabs, it's much easier for you. And I also hope that you are able to see that it doesn't have to be perfect. You can still get a super cute headband, and nobody's going to know about those little flubs. All right, friends, I'll be seeing you soon. Thanks.